everyone. I just want to say thank you for joining us one more time for our Dating Chronicles episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And today we've got Tahira and Omar with us, and we just want to say thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Dion.
And I'm Marcus.
And Tahira, do you want to explain who you are, what you do? Or...
I'm Tahira, and I also run a natural hair page on Instagram known as Manifa.
And I'm Omar. Manifa's husband.
I'm sure you're a lot more than Manifa's husband.
Yeah.
But we'll learn more about Omar, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to begin by Marcus just saying a prayer, and then we'll just get straight into it.
Okay. Lord, we thank you for being with us as we take some time to just conversate, to discuss, to learn more about each other. Thank you for allowing us to have Omar and Tahira here with us. And we hope that everyone that is watching will be encouraged and will also learn. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 Right. So, tell us, how did you guys meet? How did you meet? Oh, actually, before we get to how you meet, how you met. You're married, aren't you?
Yeah.
And how long have you been married for?
Nearly 2 years.
Excellent.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So we got some newlyweds.
Yes.
Yeah,
So go on then. Tell us the story then.
Go on.
How we met? Well, we always knew each other at school. So I guess we met at school. But the whole entanglement.
Use the word.
That entanglement, child.
I'd say we were both doing drama, and we were both part of a Romeo and Juliet play. And I think at the time someone had dared us to kiss, and then I guess it kind of went from there.
Oh, so y'all did have an entanglement.
So it kind of went a bit like Hollywood. It went from acting to a relationship.
Pretty much, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Wow.
That's nice. Hey, that's a fairy tale in some people's eyes.
That's celebrity lifestyle. Keep telling her. Okay. Do you want to ask?
Yeah. So I mean, how did it develop? So let's just say that was the start of the journey, the story.
Yeah. So
how did it develop from there? Was it kind of it was a kiss and then you kind of jumped into a relationship, or did he start chasing you? Did you start chasing him?
Did you start fluttering the eyelashes and be like?
Do you know, it was so many years ago. I'm trying to remember like what happened, but I think that kind of happened like, I'd say like May times, and then we were like pursuing each other, but you know, hard to get at the same time. And then we had summer holidays, and then when we came back to school in September, it was kind of like, do I still like this person? Does he still like me? And then it was still on, so then he asked me out.
Okay, that's nice. That's very nice.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. So what stood out for you? Let's speak to Omar now. What stood out to you about Tahira?
Back then, well, it was like we were 15, so these times, like I kind of felt. Good. Long story short, like so because we was in school, and like usually like you looking, well, I don't know what other men are like, but like you're looking around thinking, okay, who looks good? This is the first thing you're thinking, is like who looks good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I weighed up the options and I made my pick, basically. So then like the way that Tahira explained it is like that story, like, so it was a bit more intentional. So like when she says somebody dared us to kiss, I got somebody to dare us to kiss. Basically.
All right.
So,
all right. Okay.
I like that.
So I was like laying my seeds, basically. So then after that, I had the idea that like she was into me and stuff. So it wasn't like awkward or anything like that. And then it just progressed from there, really.
See, that's why you need to get your brethren on board, you know.
Friends in high places.
I love that.
Okay, and then let's switch it around. What about you, Tahira? What kind of stood out for you with Omar?
Do you know, like, he throughout school he was always small. Like, he was always a small boy. And then I think at the time that this happened, he'd had like a bit of a growth spurt, and he'd kind of matured. And so it was almost like having a new person, if that.
Okay.
Like,
so
like
the mystery about him.
It's okay, because Marcus wouldn't talk to me because I was young, apparently. So yeah, so I feel ya. I feel ya.
Yeah, he'd always been like kind of small, and then he had, you know, got taller and he looked more mature. He started to look a bit more manly, and then I was like, okay, he looks okay now. Like, he looks good.
Okay. But you know what? Let's be real. That's the reality of it. At that age, looks is probably the first thing that most people will look for at that age.
100%.
So it's not about saying, oh, well, it was her personality, or she was really good in the singing group, or, you know, those things will come as well. But the reality is, you're looking for someone that looks good.
Yeah. You don't want someone that looks good next to them, like, you know. Exactly. So, so now that you were friends, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you were friends initially, and I think some people say, nah, you can't be friends and then let your friendship develop to something else. Or other people say, friendship is the way, like, that's the best way to do it. Be friends first, and then, you know, that's the way to kind of pursue the relationship, because then you've got something to build on.
Mm-hmm.
As I meant in the first bit is like, or people will say, nah, you're in the friend zone, that's it, you stay in that friendship box, that's it. What do you think about that? Because obviously that's been your experience, like, you've been friends first, so what's your views on that?
Well, I think that, like, my personal views, I find it difficult to, like, see how, like, males and females have, like, relationships or friendships when it's not, like, somebody interested. And I think, like, because obviously we was together from friendship, maybe I just see it like that. I just think, well, I was probably a friend for a long period of time because I was attracted to her. And then I think that a lot of the times, like, that's what happens in friendships. Like, someone's attracted to someone else. Yeah. And, like,
for one reason or the other.
For one reason or the other. Yeah. Like, not necessarily, like, just like physicality, but it could be anything that you don't really know, like, why they're attracted to them, or you gravitate towards them or whatever. But then, like, it can develop, like, into romance a lot of the time. And I think because I was into Tahira, like, from we were friends, maybe I'm just a bit more strict. Like, I can't see, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What was your question, though?
No, that's it. That is exactly it. My question was, what do you think? What's your stance on it? Like, do you think that it's like, some people just friend zone people and they say, absolutely no way, he's my friend. There's I would never ever think of that. Whereas others would say, well, no, you have a friendship, and when that you build on that friendship, and then your friendship turns into something that could be like beautiful, just like yourselves and just like Marcus and I, because we were friends. You know, it's the same thing. So I guess what you're saying is that you've took it to a different kind of point. So you're saying that, you have a friend, and the friend, you gravitate to that person because you like them for some reason. It's not necessarily that you look at them and you go, I like how they look and whatnot, but for some reason, whether it's a personality thing, or whether it's a
mutual interest,
like you're saying in drama, that you both did drama together or something. There's always something that kind of pulls you together first. There's a common interest in there. Okay.
I think that like, moving forward, I think that if you are friends first, like, you stand a better chance of, like, just getting on, like, just having a laugh together, or just, like, if you got common interests, then it's a good, like, footing to get off with, really. That's what I'd say. Because, like, when you do it the other way around, like, you're just attracted to each other and then you start to get to know each other, you got to find out then if there's common interest. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I think that, like, people can force it, like, at that situation, because they like them, they're attracted to him so much when they find that there's like not that many common interests, they still go ahead with it anyway because they're just physically attracted.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that works both ways though, because I think if you have a friend and you've established a relationship as a friendship, when you like start to become in a romantic relationship with that person, your demands and your needs change. So then you're no longer that person who's in the friendship. You've changed because now you need something different from that person. So that can also be like a situation of pressure, and then you might not respond well to that because suddenly I actually need you to do this and this and this, and I never needed that before because I was just your friend.
So what do we do if that person isn't able to adapt to that?
Wow.
You know, you've got this really good kind of
friendship
level, but then you then say, okay, well, let's take this friendship to another level, like you said, and then the needs that you're trying to get your friend, who you assume should know you best. You know, what do you then do? What if they don't know how to love you like that? They just know how to love you as a friend.
Well, I think it kind of shows that not everybody is your romantic friend. Like you're saying, not everyone you should be in a romantic relationship. Because if you think about it in life in general, you've probably got, we've all probably got a lot of friends that we get on very well with as friends. And obviously, when you're looking at me having a friendship with another woman, I might get on well with them as another woman, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to get on well with them being in a married relationship. And I think both of you there, Tahira and Omar, in both of the things that you said that were opposites, you both touched on the point that essentially, even with those opposites, the fact that you try to go into another relationship so one being friends from the beginning and one not being friends from the beginning.
Yeah, there's a transition,
There's still the issue of, well, we've still got to learn to know each other and learn to have a relationship that's different from what it was before. And if you can't have that relationship from a romantic standpoint, or from a friendship standpoint to a romantic standpoint, then that doesn't mean that you don't like that person anymore. It just means that it's not supposed to be a romantic relationship.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay.
So how do we then take it to the dating stage? So we're talking about being friends and you're younger, and really, let's face it, you ain't got no money when you're young. You're at school, you ain't got no money. So how do you take it to that next stage now? How do you decide if it, you know what, let me take this girl out for a McDonald's? Like, how do you do it? What do you do? Where do you go? Like, what was your experience? What did you guys do?
Because we were so young, like, them times, I used to think I was smooth. Like, I used to think I was smooth. So I probably was just, like, playing it cool, like, just...
Hold on. Let's just check with him. Was he smooth?
Yeah, do you know, I thought he was. He was, yeah. And I think our first date was cinema. And at the time, it was a big thing. Like, this was a big thing. We were going to cinema late at night. It was just us two. It probably wasn't even that late. It was probably like 7 in the winter, but it was dark outside, so it felt late, and that was fine. Like, that's how we started. We kept going to the cinema, and then I think once we went to Jimmy Spice's or something. That was like our first sit down. That was our first sit down meal.
Wow. Jimmy Spice's.
Pushing the boat out early.
Broad Street.
Yeah, right round the corner from AMC. Yeah. So we had Jimmy Spice's, and then we would probably go cinema after, and then we kind of got into a pattern of like doing that. We'd have something to eat, and then we'd go to the cinema. So that's kind of how it started, and then when it came to like a little bit more of a fancy feel, he took me to Cafe Rouge for Valentine's Day, and then that was like, wow, you know, they had candles on the table. Like, I really felt like somebody then.
All right, Mr. Smooth, come on.
And, you know, the bill was like £40. I was like, whoa, like, money, man.
Yeah, man.
That was nice.
Listen, I remember the days when cinema was like £3. Now you're looking to pay £30 to go.
Yeah, the bus was 50p. It's a cheap day out.
Jeez, oh my
Serious,
God, the
man.
money now, you know.
Yeah, man.
£40 building.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And it was funny because that day, that was our like first Valentine's Day together, I think. And he got me like, I think it was this necklace. I still have it now. And I can't remember what happened, but for some reason, we both kind of like splashed out on presents for each other at the time. So I literally had like no money to my name, like none. So I was thinking, yeah, I'm just hoping that he pays, like, you know, everything will be fine. And then at the time he was like, oh, my card isn't working, like, can you just pay today? And I'm like, oh. Like,
oh no.
Oh, I forgot my card. It's not. I had to put up something because I was too embarrassed to like tell him, yeah, you know, I can't afford this. Like, I'm just here because you took me here. But yeah,
that's interesting because like we talk about a friendship thing. So if we were friends, surely you could have been saying like, bro, I got it today.
Yeah.
But this is where it changes, isn't it? So now you come from the friendship level and it's now, okay, I'm the girlfriend. Yeah, even though you were friends before where you could have said it to your friend. Now, I
had appearances to keep up. I couldn't look like, you know, oh, I'm just sponging or like I've got no money. It was like, oh yeah, do you know what? I forgot my card. I'm not sure where I put it.
That's so funny, actually.
How did so to hear it, how did that make you feel? Like the fact that Omar was, as you say, splashing out back then. What was the feeling that gave you as part of the dating experience?
Do you know what? It felt really good. Like I did feel really spoiled. I did feel like at the time it felt like he would take me anywhere. Like I felt like I was going to the Shard. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess from the man's point of view, how did that make you feel, Omar? In terms of, because I guess it's always a daunting experience as well as to whether she'll like it, whether she thinks Cafe Rouge was big enough, possibly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the situation?
I think because we were so young, it was easier. Like, I kind of already know that she hasn't got like big expectations. Do you know what I mean? Because she probably hasn't had these experiences before. So, like, cinema's massive right now because we haven't really had freedom. Do you know what I mean? So, in that sense, like, it was probably like my job was probably made a lot easier. Really, if like she'd been like loads of dates with loads of different guys, then maybe I would be thinking, wow, I don't even really know what I'm comparing to. You know what I mean? But at my point of entry, like, just get in early, secure the bag, get back out.
Get in early, patting it out so she's, you know, nothing to compete with. I see. Man.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I like that.
Right, so all of the younger ones who are watching, who are taking note, that's what you need to do, getting quick. So next question. You moved it. So now we've moved from the meeting, you've met the person, you've gone to the dating, and then what was your next step? So after that, where did your relationship then take you?
Naturally, it'd probably be having our first child. Yeah. And what was that like? Was that like, oh my goodness? Or did you have a plan? Did you say, this is what I want to do, and then it was like, no, it's happened? Or was it like, nah, I'm cool, let's go with the flow, let's just see how did you feel? Do you know what? Funnily enough, this was something that we used to speak about when we were like 15. And I remember he used to say things like, you know, if we're still together when we're 19, 20, we should have a child and things like that. And then obviously it didn't quite work out like that anyway. And, you know, when you're 15, you just talk. You don't really know what the situation is. So we had our first child at 20. And no, we didn't plan to do that at all. And I think that was probably like the hardest part of our relationship. That's where we started to really learn about each other and learn about like what that person is like, how they do things. There were certain things that I learned about him that I just didn't know before. So I felt like I really started to learn him then, and I guess he started to learn me. I just didn't know that he'd done certain things or was raised a certain way. Like that was when our upbringing started to come out then. And
so do you think that you did that? So you kind of did it the other way around, so to speak, so that you learn afterwards rather than learning first. I'm thinking you had to almost like you had to learn on the job.
Yeah, we literally learned on the job. Yeah.
And do you think that kind of strengthened it, like strengthened your relationship? Or I know you said it was like tough at that time, but now that you look back on it, do you think, wow, because now we had that experience, we now know how to treat things in another light, or to if we were to ever experience something like a similar situation again?
Do you know what? I don't regret anything. I always used to wish that we'd done it a different way, that we knew each other a bit better in that respect. But at the same time, if we didn't have that, then we wouldn't be where we are today. So, you know, I can completely appreciate everything that we went through then, even though it was tough. You know, I value that experience. And I guess, it did prepare me for, well, I think with having our second child, we already knew what to expect then. And we'd already been through it once before. We'd seen what mistakes we'd made. And it was easier to kind of come back from those and think, okay, I don't want to do that again because that, you know, upsets that person. Let me not do that. I want to do this because that, you know, helps that person to be happy. Let's do that. Okay.
And that kind of, you touched on it there as well already to hear it, but how for both of you, just in terms of advice to others that might be in the same situation, how did you guys get through those tough times? Are there any little gems that you could share in terms of your experience, how you dealt with it?
I think that for me, I think that to get through the tough times, you just really have to want to get through the tough times. Like, there can't be like those times where you're thinking like, oh, you know what, I'm not on this anymore, and then you just quit. Like, naturally you are going to feel like you just don't want to do it anymore, and it's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen a lot. But if you like have made that commitment, like to yourself or to your partner, to God, to your children, like if you've made that commitment, I just think that like you have to just stick to your word. Like depending on, obviously, like there might be like different severities of issues or situations where you might think maybe I need to reevaluate this life thing. But like when you're going through the tough times, if in the back of your head you already know, well, I said I'm in this for life, like you already know that you have to make it through. So like your actions then are led by your thought process. Your thought process is already grounded. Really. And then like tough times is just a challenge. It's not like a stop point. It's just something that you know you have to get through.
Yeah. I like that
too. That's deep, man. Like I'm still processing it.
It's all about thought process, isn't it? If your mindset is already that you've failed, or that you're gonna, as you said, you're gonna walk out as soon as the first tough time comes, then you're gonna probably follow through with that. So exactly. I like that.
To answer your question as well, because you asked about whether the tough times made us stronger, and like what I think is that the tough times, they might make you stronger. This is my personal experience, innit? But they give you more like hairline cracks. So like the tough times, when you got the hairline cracks, like on a day-to-day basis, you might be okay, but you've damaged yourself like a lot of times, like in small little situations. I think that like through our experience, if there had been more planning, then maybe we could have avoided having like hairline cracks or as many hairline cracks. So that would be my advice, like to people is like, number one, just try and get things right. You're not gonna get things right all the time, but like you can actually put effort into trying to get things right. If you like act careless or just free with your actions and stuff like that, then naturally you're gonna find yourself in situations you didn't plan for, and then that's when you gotta adapt.
Yeah. No, I like that again.
Two snaps for you. That's me,
No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Wisdom. Hear wisdom. Wisdom, honey. Okay, so then now you've had your experiences like we've spoken about, and then what made you want to get married then? So you've had your journey, and you're building together, and you're doing what you've got to do. You've had your baby, and you've moved in together. You moved in together, didn't you?
Yeah.
So then you moved in together, and then why then? What was it that made you think, you know what, let's get married?
You want me to say or you?
Yeah, you might as well.
Alright, so basically, like Tahira wanted to get married for like a long time, but like.
Yeah, let me take this first, and then you can take on after, because I'll say my experience.
Go on.
I did want to get married. Like, I felt like, okay, if I'm real, initially I used to feel a bit embarrassed. Like, I had a child, and it was just like my boyfriend, and I just felt a bit of pressure. Like, I felt pressurized from society. I didn't like the fact that I just had a child and I just had a boyfriend, and I wanted kind of that commitment. And I felt like what's holding us back? We live together, we've been together for ages, we've got a child together. Like, why would you not want to marry me? Why would you not want to make that step? Like, why would you want me to just look like I'm just, anybody instead of your wife? That's how I used to feel at first. And we used to have lots of conversations about it. And he would always say to me, you shouldn't want to get married for those reasons. You should want to get married because like your reasons should involve me and you, not what anyone else thinks, not what we, the world thinks, not what our situation has brought, but me and you. Like, it should be me and you. And then I think I took some time to like really think about what he had said. And he would ask me, why do you want to marry me? And it almost felt like a test sometimes. Like, I was thinking, I haven't passed the test. Like, have I said what I need to say? And but I think my answers just naturally began to change from, I'm embarrassed, or I don't like that we're not, a whole family unit. I don't like not having the same last name as our child, to actually, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, or, I really want to commit to you in that way. I want to show everybody I feel this way about you, and I have done for a long time. So I think naturally when my answers began to change, we just grew at the same time anyway.
Oh, that's nice. And I love that, because it's almost like he challenged your mindset. He challenged the way that you were looking at things, because he's right. Like, you shouldn't be worrying about what society is thinking. It's you and how you feel, and if you're ready. Because many times that's why people get into marriages, and then the marriages just mash up because they got into marriage for the wrong reasons. When you were reevaluating the situation and saying, actually, it's because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Mate, if you said that to me, I'd have gotten down on one knee.
Well, it was also nice that the challenge is coming from Omar as well. Because let's just be honest, a lot of the time it's usually the woman that's saying that, and the man is looking for the man is looking for an excuse not to make that step.
I'll be honest though. I'll be honest. Careful. Like, I I wasn't ready to get married at the time. But like, I could just tell that Tahira wasn't ready to get married to me. Like, I just knew that she weren't ready to get married to me. And because the reasons that she was given weren't making me feel like, you know what, like, we should get married. Like, me at the time, I wasn't mature enough to get married. Like, I wasn't mature enough to I wasn't mature enough to say vows. That's all I would say. Is like, I remember, like, because my parents were together for like, I was 15 when my parents got married, and I remember asking my dad, like, why did you get married so late? And he was like, listen, when I say these vows, yeah, like, I'm not breaking them. And I'm not saying these vows until I know for a fact I'm not breaking them, yeah. So when he said that to me, like, that just stuck in my head. And I thought, yo, I'm not getting married until I'm ready to make these vows and know that I'm keeping them. And it's as simple as that. And then with Tahira, like, because she was saying all these things about, oh, yeah, I'm going to the primary school and they're saying my maid, like, her old name. I was thinking to myself, what are you on about? Like, you really want to get married, yeah? Because these people, like,
that's a woman's prerogative, man. That's women's thing.
You know, nothing to do with you. It's about how she felt when she went to school.
Women think about those things, oh man, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
That's nice though. It's nice.
So then you did that. Like, I'm just giving your whole life story, you know, because you don't realize how helpful this is going to be to so many people. Honestly, so like, okay, so now you've done that. You've realized, okay, I'm ready. Who then pops the question? Is it more so to hear, like, listen, you need to propose now, like, now is the time? Or was it like,
no,
spontaneous?
do you know what? I had kind of just got it out of my head, if I'm honest, because it's not like he came back to me and was like, yeah, you're saying the right things. That conversation didn't happen. It was more like, okay, I'm going to stop talking about this now, and I'm going to stop bringing it up. Like, if I'm not ready in your eyes, then I'll just leave it alone. Like, in my head, I just thought we probably weren't gonna get engaged for a long time. We probably won't get married, but whatever. So yeah, it came as a total shock to me when he proposed. Like, I was in shock. Like, I was in complete shock. I did not expect that at all. Like, it really threw me. It wasn't like it was literally, are you being serious? Like,
oh. So that means you did it properly then. Well done, Omar. Well done. You got the props. You got them props.
So
for me,
go ahead.
Sorry, now go on.
No. Finish the point if you were talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for me, like, because, like she said, she stopped talking about it. Like, for me, then there was no pressure to get married. Like, I felt like, because she used to talk about it so much, like, when are we gonna get married? When it just kept putting me off the idea, and like, for years, it felt like she was just trying to pressure me into get married as well. And then, like, at that point, like, I just knew for a fact I'm not getting married. Like, and it was done. And then as soon as she stopped talking about it, then I could actually start to think about it in my head and think, yo, do I want to get married? Like, do I personally want to get married without somebody trying to, like, coax me into it? Yeah. So, like, at that point, then he was like, yeah, like, I can do this. Like, so yeah, was it.
Did you feel like you had to be in a financially stable place to make that decision? Or did you think, like, I just needed to I just know the time's right and I'm gonna do this and then we're gonna work on it together? Or did you think, no, let me take a minute out, let me sort out what I gotta do, and then once I've sorted out myself, I can come to her now? And like, was it something that you wanted to do together, or was it something that you kind of just said, well, let me sort it out and then I'll propose?
I think that, like, if you're talking financially, I would say that it did play a factor, but it wasn't massive. Around those times, I was doing an apprenticeship, so I weren't making, like, fantastic money. And I knew that if I was going to get married, then I needed to be making some proper dough, like, to have a wedding that I think that we would both like. So around the time that I proposed, I think I was coming to the end of my apprenticeship then. Yeah, so like I could kind of evaluate how my finances were gonna go. So then, it did come into play. Yeah, I did think about it. Yeah, definitely.
Were you fussed by it, Tahira? Were you bothered by finance? Like, did you think, nah, he better have some kind of money for it, or were you just was that something that you wasn't really concerned about? Because everyone has so many different views on it. Like,
well, I already knew like his money situation anyway. I already knew the financial situation, and prior to this all happening, even the proposal, this is another reason why I stopped talking about it, is because I asked him for an eternity ring, and he was like, you know, why do you want one? And I was just like, okay, you know, it's not an engagement ring, it's just an eternity ring. I can wear it on my ring finger, you know.
Just to make me feel better about the situation.
And you know what? He gave in. Like, I did pressure him to get that. He gave in. I went to try it on and everything. We went to the shop, got sized up, bought it. Then, literally the next morning, he was like, "This is going back." And I was just like, "You are? What do you mean it's going?" And he's like, "This is going back. Like, I'm not buying you an eternity ring. Like, what's the point?" And he's like, "This has come from you. This hasn't come from me. So you're just going to be wearing it, and it's come from you." And so, like, I was really, really upset by that.
Him, you know. I like him. Like that.
So yeah, that ring went back, and you know, I was heartbroken, and that was it. And then after that, I stopped talking about the wedding completely. Like, stopped talking about marriage. But at the time, I knew that like our finances were going to get better, because obviously I think I'd been teaching for about a year then. I knew I was getting made permanent and things like that. So I just had a promotion. I think I knew that things were like moving it towards the direction of we're going to be okay. So I would say, in my personal opinion, I wasn't bothered about like having a big wedding or having like a flashy ring. Obviously, when they came, I welcomed them with open arms. But
of course,
I wasn't bothered about that kind of thing. Like, I always said to him, I'd happily get married in a registry office. Like, I don't care. You know, it's not the whole wedding that means everything to me. So, yeah, I wasn't really too bothered about it.
Okay. So let's just kind of wrap it up now. So what advice would you give to someone or to a younger person who is kind of just thinking about it? They've got friends, but they're really not sure whether they should ask their friend to take it to the next level, or you know, they want to go and pursue like not pursue. They want to further develop or go to that next step and find a life partner. But then they can only see their friends around and they're not really sure. Like, would you say, you know, look close to home? Would you say, nah, don't do it? Like, wait till the time's right? I don't know, what would you say?
Would you say have the friendship first and build on the friendship, so that potentially moving into the relationship or the romantic relationship is an easier transition? Or would you say don't do it at all?
I personally would say to let things happen naturally. I personally don't like the feeling of, if I had a friend and I knew that his like long-term intentions were to have something with me and those weren't my intentions, I would kind of feel like I'd been duped the whole time. So I wouldn't personally like that. I would say if there's a natural connection with that person, or you just naturally click and it's going down that way, then yeah, you can, you know, put the wheels on it. But I wouldn't encourage anyone to kind of like go seek out one of their friends and be like, yeah, you know what, let's move in that direction. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what did you say?
Yeah, for me, I don't know. Like, I think you could have positive and negative experiences either way.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being so honest and for just, sharing and everything. So I'm going to ask Tahira now to kind of just go for the plug, because you are, she's Instagram celebs now, she's doing her thing. So yeah, plug what you're doing and let the people know where they can find you, etc.
Well, apologies that I'm looking all oily and,
you're looking natural. Right. That's what we like.
But yes, I am promoting a love for all things natural hair, to do with myself and my two girls. I mainly focus on hairstyles, as well as, how to treat your hair, and just to gain that love for your hair again that so many of us didn't have. So follow me on Manifa_X at Instagram.
Excellent. And you can follow us at Can We Just Talk on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where you can see other videos that are similar to this as well. And I am ChizRay88.
And I'm Man Like Gods.
Omar, you didn't even tell us about you.
Yeah, I'm Omar, man. I'm Omar, elusive.
Okay.
Mr. Smooth.
Mr. Smooth, definitely. Okay, so once again, thank you to everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in. And Marcus, you just want to finish again with prayer one more time?
Yeah. Lord, we thank you once again for the time we've spent. We are glad and happy that the relationship between Omar and Tahira has blossomed the way it has. We ask that you be with their family unit. You will continue to strengthen them on their journey. And Lord, for those who have heard the program, we ask that you'll just give them guidance, and that, as we've said to them, just let things happen naturally and it will all fall into place. Be with us now. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Enjoyed it.